Hi guys, I'm your host Odessa Amaris. How you doing today, beautiful souls? I'm doing fantastic. So today we're doing another story time with me. It's been a hot minute since I've done a face-to-face one. I've done some gaming ones recently that have happened to me, and I thought since these ones are still kind of fresh a little bit, that I would tell my story about them. Let's do this. The stories I'm about to tell you are happened within a span of 3 years. Now, I don't want any hate on this venue whatsoever. They're still working out a lot of bugs. It is ran by two amazing people, and they have people underneath them that are also running around, running things as well. They did the best that they could during the situations, and they handled it to the best of their abilities. And so please don't send them hate. I adore these people, absolutely, hands down. Um, I just found out it's not really fun working a convention. I found out real quick it's not fun working for a convention. Um, like, I adore these people to death, and they can't control everybody, and they can't be on top of everything every single minute of the day. They even though they try, they really do try. And this coming year, I'm going to be an attendee and see what happens from there. A lot of cons have horror stories all the time and have stuff happen all the time due to people and stuff like that. So they can't control everybody. All they can do is address it when it happens. So please, if you do figure out uh, this convention and everything, please take my story as my personal experience and my horror story, basically. And maybe by a certain amount of years, they will iron out all of the kinks and problems. So, without further ado, let's dive into this story, shall we? So, I'm gonna give a little bit of backstory, a little bit, and then we'll get started on the horror stories. So, I love taking pictures. I've took pictures ever since I could hold a camera in my hand, whether it be Polaroid, whether it be flip phones or smartphones. I love taking photos. And when I found out that we had a convention here, I started taking photos there of cosplayers and all of that. Uh, Fast forward a little bit, and I started taking photos of myself. I started editing photos and altering photos of myself. And then I had a friend ask me to do a little bit of a shoot for them on their phone. And I did that, and they inspired me to become a photographer because they loved my work so much. Um, I even did wedding photos here and there, just on my own. And then after my friend inspired me, I started doing them a little bit for money on the side, a little bit, which was great. It was fun. Fantastic. I absolutely loved it and enjoyed it. Now, fast forward to our or a little bit of 2000 2019, I found out about this new convention that was coming into town because our old one decided to call it and decide to move on to bigger and better things. And we were missing our old convention, and then this lovely, wonderful couple decided to start this new one. And I was super excited. I was going to get my home back. It was going to be great. It was going to be phenomenal. Absolutely fantastic. And I was looking forward to it. I offered to do volunteer to just whatever that they wanted me to be. I was doing cosplay since a little bit of 2011, a little bit of 2012. maybe a little bit farther back than that, but I didn't go to a con until 2012, like my official con. Um, and they're all like, "Oh, you can be one of the judges and all of that." And I was all like, "Oh, okay. Uh, I don't know if I feel comfortable doing that, but I'll do my best." And I brought my best to the table, and then shortly realized that this is a lot of work and a lot of writing, and due to the fact that I have dyslexia and the fact that my spelling is atrocious, it didn't go very well. But on top of that as well, we I had some friends that also did cosplay competition, and I didn't want to be biased, so I stepped down from that job. Then they had me do it was that same year they had me do karaoke as well. So I decided to do that, and if you've ever seen the old big karaoke machines and all of that, they had like a big TV monitor and this big CD player that had one CD on one side and one CD player on the other side, and it was big. And you had this booklet that had all the disc numbers in it and all the songs in it, and you just had to flip through them, find the one that you wanted, find the disc, find the song, and then you would have to do the same thing in the CD book. And then you would take the first disc, put it in there, and then you would take the second one and put it in there. So that way when one would go in and the other one was just finishing up, you can hit play on the next one automatically. So it would switch over to the next one. And it was heavy. I don't know if they rented that or if they bought it and it was their own. I don't know, but they eventually moved me over to photography because they moved or they made somebody else who already had their stuff and already had their setup. All they needed was the internet, and they can hook up to a screen and ta-da. So, which was fine. They were more professional of a karaoke person. I've only done karaoke twice for the previous place and this one, so it was fine. First year of photography, I have never, ever done a venue before. I was really nervous, but I was excited at the same time. I was super happy. It was going to be great. It was going to be phenomenal. And I'm getting in and I'm taking photos, and it's great. And I'm getting to meet a lot of people. We already had some hiccups earlier at con with some people, but that's another story for later. But for now, it was great. It was absolutely great. And we got the photos done, and it was time for me to go home. I rested up and everything, and of course, us volunteers and staff members have to get up early so we can prepare things, get things ready, and get things sorted out, right? I get a message from them asking if they can have some of the photos. I sat there and I'm all like, well, I don't feel comfortable giving them to you quite yet. And all that. Sorry, I got a message from my friend. I don't feel comfortable giving to them quite yet. They're like, why? I said I haven't edited them yet. Oh, that's fine. We'll go through them. I was like, okay, fine. What do you all need? And they're all like, we want some of the voice actors, some of walkarounds, some of the panels of yesterday. And I was like, that's fine. I can do that for you. I'm exhausted. And I'm just going through and I'm like, yep, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one, that one. And I get to the venue fairly early, and people are starting to show up and everything. And I'm walking around taking my pictures, and I catch the lovely head lady out of the corner of my eye, and she beckons me over. And I was all like, oh, okay. So I look at her, she's like, she pulls me off to the side, and she's all like, did you realize you took this photo? And I was all like, what do you mean? And I look at it, and I'm gonna set the picture scene. So, stage comes up to about my knee, if not the back of my knee, to the point where I have to literally boost myself up a little bit just to sit on it, maybe a little bit higher than that. And the table is also that comes to about here to it's somewhere around there. I don't know. I didn't really pay attention, but I have to like really look up at them if I come close to the stage. Person sitting in the chair. The table had no cloth, no skirt. It's just a table and chair. And the voice actor behind it was wearing a sundress. You can imagine what picture I ended up taking. And I went white as a ghost. My face turned flush because I was embarrassed. I went through all the emotions of who saw this, why didn't this get edited? You know, I immediately looked at her and said, I did not realize I took that photo. I am so sorry. They're all like, it's fine. It's done. It's over with. I said, how long has it been up? About an hour. I said, I thought they were going to edit it. Apparently they didn't. And I said, okay, well, they said that they were going to take care of it. And they're all like, we'll talk to them. And I was like, okay. But did she see it? She's like, she's the one who pointed it out. And I was like, no. I call up my best friend after this, and I'm in tears by this point. And I said, what do I do? And she's all like, the best thing you can do is literally apologize, and that's all you can do, and that it's been taken care of. And so I walked up to the lovely lady. I'm shaking. I'm literally shaking. I don't do conflicts or anything like that. I'm a very laid back person, and it was devastating. I've been taking photos ever since I can remember, only to have this happen, as an embarrassing moment for my first time working at a venue. And she was really cool about it. I explained everything to her and how sorry I was, and tears start running down my face, and she was really cool about it. Absolutely cool about it. And I was happy, and she even came around her table and gave me the biggest hug, and it was great. So then after dealing with that, we had finished up the con event with no other problems other than the other problem I will tell you later on in a separate story, because I'm only talking about photography stuff for this story, but I'll come back to that one later with those hooligans. But regardless, moving on. So we have our annual meeting, and we talk about the photography incident and how we need to put skirts on our tables, and how we need to make sure that maybe lowering the stage a little bit or something needs to happen so this does not happen again. And I told them, I said, I will make sure from here on out that that the photos are looked over. You will not be getting any photos from me until I look through them. And they said, fair enough. I said, it's just because I am self-conscious already about this whole situation and everything. So then it became like a running joke in the group. And it was an annoying running joke. At first it was funny and haha, and and then it was like, make sure you don't take an embarrassing photo again. We wouldn't want to have that happen. And I'm all like, guys, it's not funny anymore. But I let it go, I just hoped and prayed it was gonna frickin' die down and I would never have to hear it again. Boy, was I frickin' wrong. Boy, was I frickin' wrong. But we'll come back to that one in a bit. So, I also talked to them about them possibly getting another photographer to help me out, because I was the only photographer at the time. I have no clue what happened to their previous photographers when I was at the venue a couple years prior. So I have no idea what happened to those people, and I didn't ask. They said, well, if I could find somebody, go for it. And I did. I ended up finding one of my friends, another friend of mine who also inspired me to take photos. And they went to college for it. And they're all like, yeah, I'll help you out next year. I was like, sweet, you are the bomb. So next year rolls around, and yes, every now and again, I'm still hearing the mockery of my freaking photography. At that point, I was really getting annoyed. So 2022 comes around, and my friend and I are getting pictures done. We're running around and we're getting things done and we're getting things taken. And we also found out that that year we had a sponsorship from a really well known company. And I'm super excited. I talked to my friend about it. I said, we got to get every angle that we can. This is the stuff that they want us to take pictures of and everything so we can get our names out there and everything. Like, I was super excited. Absolutely super excited, right? We'll come back to that in a sec. And we took all of those photos. We did all of those photos, and they turned out amazing. Um, I on the second day, second to last day, I want to say. I can't remember if it was the first day. No, the first day I was dressed up as uh, Medusa from Soul Eater. I remember. So it was the second day. The second day I was dressed up as Jinx. And straight up, what happened was is Jinx's wig is very heavy. If you've ever seen Arcane or Jinx from League of Legends, you know who I'm talking about. She's got the blue hair with the two braids that go all the way down to her ankles, pretty much. I got a wig that was long enough that went down to the back of my knees, almost, maybe a little bit longer than that. And my partner at the time had helped me 3D print the hair pieces, the little metal hair pieces, and I personally painted them and put them in. Well, we didn't realize how much weight it would put on the wig. So literally straight up, I had to have my wig cap along with my wig grip and then, excuse me, various pins in my hair to keep it on. So I have time blindness. I have massive time blindness. I'm working on getting better and stuff like that to prevent me from having that happen. So I decided, I was like, man, I haven't had, I don't know when's the last time I had a thing of water. And usually I'm really good about this. Usually I'm really, really good about this, but for some reason this year I was not. And so I went to the back. I set my camera down and I'm like, oh my God, this wig is causing me to have a headache. And so I pull off the wig and not even 5 seconds, I'm on the floor. I don't remember going down. I don't remember at all. What I remember is holding the bottle of water and then there was water everywhere and I see like people looking down on me and trying to figure out if I'm okay, you know. And I was like, what happened? And they're like, you just fainted. And what happened, our theory is that the wig grip and all of that was just too tight on my head and the blood flow just got to me. On top of that, I'm pretty sure I was a little bit dehydrated and I barely eaten that day. I know it's a big rule. It's a big freaking rule. And I didn't take care of myself and I'm ashamed of it. It happens to everybody and all of that, but take care of yourselves at con, guys. Just do it. So they ended up sending me home for the day because I sat there and I was like, well, I got to take pictures. I got to take pictures. They're all like, don't worry about it. You know, if you feel better, you can come back, but you're done for cosplay for the day. I was like, okay. So I went home. I changed out of my Jinx costume and everything. I relaxed for about a good few hours or so and then decided I was going to come back. I ended up going back and they had their little sponsorship panel, which was Name That Cleavage. And so I went in and I took all the photos of Name That Cleavage and everything. And it was fantastic. It was great. It was wonderful and all that. It was great. And I ended up being in one of the photos because of the fact that I literally they ran out of people to actually do to do the game, and so I was like, screw it, I'll sit down in for one, and I managed to name the last character, which was from Meat from Food Wars. absolutely hilarious that I won the award, and we took all the photos together. My significant other took my photo with the group, and then I did individual shots, and then my significant other took a photo of me. So it was great. It was fun. And I finished up with that. Had no problem with that. And the next day comes around. It's the final day of con, pretty much. And I'm wrapping up all of my final photos of different places and different things. And I didn't get the voice actors. So I come in and I start shooting with all of the voice actors' tables and stuff like that because I know by a certain time they're going to leave. They're going to be going back to wherever they need to go, right? So I'm racing down to get that done in the morning so that way it's done and everything. And one of the handlers one of the handlers was the one that I told you about a few minutes ago that wouldn't let the photography joke go, right? Remember when I said that? Well, while I was taking their photos and everything, I heard them talking to a voice actor that they were sitting next to about the photography fiasco. And as I get to the table, I give my 2 cents in, and I'm all like, it was an accident, was like, it was a terrible thing. And I did end up correcting them on some stuff. And we continued doing the photography stuff. And I asked them if they'd be okay if I took their photo. They put their hand up and they said, I don't want you to take my photo after hearing that. And I'm all like, oh, okay, putting me on the spot. Like, you have every right to tell me no. I was taken aback a little bit. I was just a little stunned. But then they're all like, oh, but that was this and it wasn't that big of a deal. And I'm all like, if they don't want me to take the photo, then they don't have to. The person convinced them to. So I was all, so they're all like, yeah, fine, whatever. Just do it. And so I was like, okay, I mean, I didn't have to, all right, whatever. So I just took the photo and I was all like, thank you. And I will, I can't wait to develop these. And they're all like, well, I hope it looks good. And I'm all like, in front of a voice actor. I'm like, oh my gosh. And so I, got done with that and I began working on all of my photos, obviously. And I went to have one of the peoples come and get the stick from me because they don't live in town, they live out of town. And so they came to get it, and I said, hey, we need to talk. We got a lot of stuff to talk about. And they're all like, okay, what's going on? So I mentioned about the fact that I fainted, and I said, we need to have more photographers. And I think us photographers should definitely have handlers and all of that a little bit. So that way we have time to sit down and all that. So, we need a time schedule and all of that. And they're all like, I agree. I think we need to definitely change that. I said, they're all like, what about your friend from this year? Are they coming back as photographer? I said, I don't know. I will ask them. And at the time, I had no idea, but then they did eventually tell me that they wanted to be an attendee, which I was all like, okay, that's fine. That's fair. So I said, there were these people that told me or asked me about my photography and everything, and I told them about how we're the only 2 photographers, and they gave me their cards to give to you. So here are their cards and everything. Second, I've noticed from last year that you guys have not been, giving me credit about my photos and who is taking these photos. It took one of the people who actually was there and all of that to tag me in these photos because somebody asked who took the photos. We'll get better on that and everything. And I'm all like, okay, especially because, you guys just have this wonderful moment with this sponsor, and I would want to make sure that I get notified. I will talk to the person who is doing the media page. I was like, okay. Second, I don't appreciate what happened with one of the voice actors with this person because of the fact that they almost didn't want me to take their photo. That doesn't look good on the venue, and that doesn't look good on me as a photographer. It was a funny joke. It turned into an accident photo to a miscommunication on editing the photo and all of that to a funny joke, which is no longer funny anymore. And they're all like, ooh, yeah, we should probably definitely take care of that as well. And I'm all like, please do, because it's not funny anymore. It really hurts my feelings, and it's getting beaten to death, literally. And they're like, we'll take care of that. So fast forward to this year. I have been somewhat paying attention to. It was actually it was the beginning of the year, actually, I should say, because I finally got my photos done and everything and sent out to them of last year. And I finally got the notification from one of my acquaintances that literally said, "Hey, look, they used your photos." I was all like, "Oh." And they sent me the thing, and it was the sponsorship, and I'm all like, "Oh, I'm so happy," and everything. I'm like so happy that they used our photos. I was so And then I scrolled down to see if we were mentioned. We were not. And so I typed it, and then I deleted it, and then I typed it, and then I deleted it, trying to come up with a better way to actually be all like, yeah, thank you for using our photos and all of that. Is there any chance that you can tag us? You know? I was trying to come up with that way. And I like talked to a lot of people about it, and they're like, the best way you could do it is just say thank you for using our photos, and I did. And, all that. And they replied back to us, and I was so happy about that. And then I noticed, when they were posting them on other pages, that they were still not giving us credit, and I was all like, this might be my last year. At this point in 2023 was possibly going to be my last year due to the fact that I miss being an attendee. I miss being an attendee. So it was partially due to that and the fact that it was very overwhelming, and due to the fact that I freaking fainted, and also due to the fact that I wasn't getting a little bit of respect as a photographer, you know. So after that, I already said to them that I might step down, and they were fine with me doing that. And so I said, we were gonna have to figure out what we're gonna do for next year, for 2024. They're all like, "We'll figure it out." I'm like, "Okay." So I worked for them this year, and it was great, and we didn't have any problems whatsoever. Um, until I started I brought the photos home. I started editing them, working them out, and everything. And I got to do the one photo area that I didn't get to do the previous year, which was the food war event. So I got to take pictures of everybody's artwork. They basically have all this food, and they want you to make some artwork out of it. That's all it really was. And it was great. It was really, really great. Everybody posed for me for their individual shots and everything, and it was great. And then I got the whole table. Well, I got a message saying that I need to fix some photos. And I'm all like, not this again. Not this again. I said, what photos? And this is coming from another person. This isn't even coming from the social media person this time around or the head person this time around. This is coming from one of their, I'm not sure if they were volunteer or if they were staff, but they told me about it, and they were nice about it in the beginning. They were nice in the beginning, and they're all like, "Hey, we need to take a look at some of your photos and possibly have you edit them and fix them." And I was all like, first off, what photos are we talking about? Second, we can easily you guys can also easily edit these as well if you're not really satisfied with them, because I double checked and made absolutely freaking sure that none of them looked terrible, or there was no red eyes, nobody was looking funny. I made sure that nobody was looking embarrassed or anything like that. So and it came down to a photo, another photo that was on stage, of literally all of the voice actors sitting at, and one table. Can you guess where this is going? That was not covered with a cloth or a skirt. And one of our lovely voice actors was wearing a dress. Now, I did go through these photos. The way that they are sitting, their knees are together and their legs are curved. There was no problem with it whatsoever, but I said, fine, no worries, I'll just fix it and I'll edit it. So I did. So now you can't see it at all. And I moved it up and then just reposted that. I said, what's the secondary photo? The secondary photo is of that same lovely gal, and she's a little busty. It's very voluptuous. Beautiful gal, absolutely, who has quite a bit of cleavage. Not enough to reveal anything or show anything whatsoever. And they're all like, you need to take this photo down. I said, I can do that, but I'm telling you that I won't have any photos of her except for the group one if I do that. And she's holding up her food like this. She knows I'm taking the picture. She's in the photo smiling at me. So it's not like she doesn't know that I'm not taking this photo of her, like, whatsoever. She knows. And they're like, there's got to be a way you can cover up her. We don't want to embarrass her. I was like, if she has a problem with it, I will definitely take it down. But I'm telling you, this is the only photo I have of her, or the two photos I have of her holding up her food. And then there's one where she's working on the food as well. Like, if I cut all of those out, then you're not going to have any photos of her. Well, I don't know. I was like, let me talk to some people and see what I can do. So I talked to my friend from the previous year who helped me out with photography. And I also talked to another person who I met previously during a photo shoot for a friend of mine and all that. And I got to pick their brain. This year I got to meet him again and got to pick their brain on possibly doing watermarks and a bunch of other stuff for my photography, because they are a professional photographer and they do this for a living, which was great. And I sent the photo to both of them, and they basically said the exact same thing of, without making it look weird, there's no covering this up. You will literally be ruining the photo at this point. And I'm all like, well, one of their staff members / volunteer person, I don't know again which one they were, wants me to do that. And they're all like, what does the con people say? And I'm all like, okay. So I get a hold of the head of con, and I said, they were at work, so I had to wait to talk to them. And I told them about the situation after when I got them on the phone. And they're all like, send us the pictures and we'll decide what we're going to do with it. I was like, okay, but I'm posting these on my personal page, my personal photography page, and my personal page. Are you guys? They're all like, that's fine. And so I messaged them, or the person who told me about the photos, back and told them what was said to me. And they're all like, I don't know why you're making this difficult and everything. Just remove the photos and fix the photo. And I'm all like, fine. I did not mean to upset you or anything. I am just telling you what was told to me. I don't know why you're so upset and everything. So, yeah. So that's pretty much it. of a little bit of my con horror story as working as a photographer for this con. If you figure it out, go whatever, but please do not send them any hate or anything. I repeat again, this is just my personal story and my personal experience. Things could change, things could get better, and all of that. I do have more horror stories of what happened at this con in those years, but I thought I would actually talk about this one in particular for my photography stuff. But I do have a story of some crazy yahoos and what they ended up doing in 2021. Oh dear, there's that story. And it was them and then another incident with another kid entirely throwing things off of the balcony. So there's those two stories too, if you guys want to hear those, which I'm sure I will end up telling them because I enjoy doing these types of videos. It's been a hot minute since I've done these types of videos, so I thought I would actually do another one. But yeah, don't send hate. Things can change, and they're new. They're figuring things out. This is their 5th year as of 2023, and we'll see what happens. I wish them nothing but the best, and maybe as me coming this year as an attendee, maybe things will be different. Maybe it's greener on the other side of the fence, maybe, for all I freaking know. I don't know, but I'll let you know if I have any more horror stories past this year. But yeah, in my next video I'll talk about the other fiascos. Oh dear. So but yeah, I miss doing these. So I'm gonna start trying to bring these back and start bringing them as they come again. And I still have one for my Twitch page that also recently actually happened about a month ago, and I've been debating on if I want to post it, so I think I've made my decision to actually post that, so be on the lookout for that fiasco of a story. And that one actually has video from my stream and all of that, so without further ado, I'm your host of this, Amaris, signing out. Game on Gamers, cosplay and cosplayers, be safe, everybody. I love you guys. Feel free to follow me on my other pages and all of that. I do all sorts of things on here besides these stories that you might find interesting. Feel free to follow me on my Twitch page where I go live. We play 2 hours of Dead by Daylight and 2 hours of Overwatch. I stream Mondays, Thursdays, and Saturdays. And Saturdays is Play with the Community Day. And for now, I think this is our last Wednesday, and we're gonna move it to Friday for movie night on the Discord server. And I also do giveaways on the Discord server, so be on the lookout for that as well. And you can chill and hang out with everybody on there. And I do cosplay stuff, photography for myself, others, Drag King stuff, OCs, whatever I decide to post information-wise, and yeah. So let me know what you guys thought of this whole fiasco, and all of that. And I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on this whole situation. So we'll see you in the next video. Mwah! Bye!